shotgun start in golf is full of mathematics. There's a lot of setup work that we have to do in order to make a tournament work. So I'm going to demonstrate to you just exactly how we do a shotgun start here.
Here we go.
Hey. All right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Greetings and welcome to a Saturday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is July 19th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing wonderful. I just, nice to sleep in a bit, get some rest, and then watch just an incredible performance of golf. You know, you just you run out of superlatives to talk about this stuff. But Scottie Scheffler, I mean, just it's can be boring at times to watch, and boring in the most complimentary way of how he makes the game, seem so simple. It's really incredible stuff.
It's almost like you thought he was sort of opening the door around here. The way Rory went at the start, and then Scottie starting with 6 pars. It felt like, like this could be a thing. Is that well? He's too good. It's too machine-like. There isn't that it's a full 18-hole examination. His cold streak was 6 pars, and that's like it's not a 3 over round. It's not a 3 over in 9-hole stretch. It's 6 pars, and so that necessitates someone going. I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know what the word would be to crazy low, but it was an incredible round for Scottie Scheffler. As he sort of played, honest to God, on the ground second fiddle to the Rory McIlroy deal. Like as soon as he went birdie, it was off and running. He would have had to, make an 8 somewhere for that to not be the case. But he's the story, will be the story on Sunday. Scottie, that is, will be the story on Sunday with an incredible round. A lot of people would say, what par save impressed you the most? There's this weird thing of I like Scottie. He's great. He's a great champion. He is unquestionably the best player going. But this weird dynamic takes place of oh, good, he hit it in the bunker, and maybe this will get interesting. Or good, he hit it in the shit, as they say here, and maybe it'll get interesting. It's a weird dynamic, not against Scottie, but just more of the championship, and it never really happens. It doesn't come to fruition.
Yeah, I tweeted for those rooting for Scottie to come back to the field, be a little bit more. I tweeted the Aaron Paul gif, of he can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah.
I think what I'm amazed about is he gets into these lives that they're like, this is awful, and then he hits a shot to the front edge of the green on 14. Right. He's in just the worst place imaginable on a downslope and thick rough on 11.
11, yeah.
And he chips it to 8 feet.
Makes the putt.
I'll say that I think the most important one was right out of the gates on 3. He hits it over the green, putts it. He hits a bad kind of chip that was a putt. And he's got in it that moment. You think about, with golf, you want to avoid moments that can speed you up, and things that speed you up and get you uncomfortable generally are bogeys, especially bogeys you feel like you misplayed something. And for Scottie, that there's this moment on 3 early in the round. He pars 1. He doesn't make a birdie on 2, and you're like, oh, he might drop one here. And Fitzy had chipped in on 2 for eagle, and it's well, this is that moment in time where it could get really interesting early on. Not when I think you're going to get a lot of love for the 11 and 14 saves, but that putt, I don't know what he's exactly at now. After he made the putt on hole 11, they said on the broadcast he's 37 for 39 inside of 10 feet this week. It's just
He leads the
astounding.
field putting, I think, with a stat like that for sure, right? Isn't he? Is
He's
he still
first in
SG?
strokes
Yeah,
gained
I
putting.
thought
He's
so.
first in strokes gained approach. He's first in strokes gained par 3 or first in par 3 scoring by 3 shots, 4 shots over the nearest competitor, which like he's birdied 16 2 days in a row. This is one of the hardest holes in the world. I think like I was thinking more about what Rory said about how there's like a gettable stretch, a stretch you hold on for dear life, or and
Yeah.
there's just holes like the difference between Scottie and the rest of the world right now is that the hardest holes in the world you kind of stand like I'm watching on 16 and it's like God, he has the ball on a tee with a long iron. He's got a good shot at making a birdie here, you know. And sure enough, he hits it up to 15, 20 feet and makes the putt. It's just astounding. The shot he hit on 6. Like there is one thing he can't do. There's one thing he can't do, and it's something that a lot of the best players in the world can't do. But the only thing that is keeping him from throwing a complete perfect game this week is that he has not been able to drive the ball consistently well when the wind's been off his left. It's the only thing he can't do at Portrush right now. So, like, when you think about scenarios, and we're going to probably talk about this, but like, okay, can Rory come back and win this? Okay, let's say he shoots a 63 tomorrow. You think Scottie's going to shoot worse than 68, 69? He's made 3 bogeys the entire week. He's made 0 today. He made 2 on day 1. And most of that was when the rain was pissing down and he couldn't drive the ball because the ball was squirting right. So, like, to me, the only way, given what's going on, is the driver gets squirrely and he stops making every, like, 50-50 putt.
I think the birdie on 16 really sort of
Put it away.
It's this last just like the guy is like bruised and battered and wobbly in the rain, and then it's just like boom, one last shot that ends it. And I'm not suggesting it's over, but that for me it felt like there was life going to tomorrow a little bit, but the wind had picked up a little bit. It was pretty solid scoring conditions throughout the day. We saw a number of 67s, 66. Corey Connors, Scotty, Xander made 2 eagles, went low. Like it wasn't a cakewalk, but not the most challenging conditions. But it had picked up there late. Like it had picked up quite a bit. It was stiff and gusty, and just to fire one into 16 and make a birdie there, to sort of add a little extra between you and the field. He was 3 up at the PGA, and we were basically like, this is completely over. He was with Alex Noren, 3 clear of Alex Noren at Quail Hollow. We're like, this is over, totally over. Now it got squirrely, to use your term, on the front 9, and there was a John Rahm and a Bryson. There were like guys hovering around him. I guess we're going to get a different wind. We've kind of had different winds here almost each day. None of them sort of exceptionally strong. Some in the first round, but we're supposed to be getting another different wind on the 4th day. He's 4 clear, and I think you're to make it interesting, you're thinking maybe you get a redo of the PGA thing, which was like this once in a million 2 hours that he fixed on the fly.
I think the way that this gets interesting, candidly, is he hits one out of bounds on 1.
Yeah.
Or out of bounds on 4. Like those are, to me, kind of like the 2 scenarios. Like he has to hit a ball out of bounds. Almost, because you then have this 2-shot occurrence happen. Because if he was at 12, then you'd be like, you know what? Everybody at 8 has a shot. Because they can go nuts and Scottie might play average. Because to me, with the way the weather's been, with a lack of really strong winds, average for Scottie is probably 69, 68. Like I thought today's round was pretty average. Now,
The regression is nothing. Like the regression is still being first in every single category.
So the regression is he doesn't make a couple of those putts. Say he makes 1 out of the 3 of the par saves, and he's at 12, and then he shot 69. You know, and I think that's really where it's at right now with this tournament. Is, I mean, it's not just the putts that are going in; it's the putts that are. He's not missing putts. Every roll, every putt he's hitting feels like it has a chance to go in. And I just don't, like, listen, like, I think Rory's had his probably B game. I think today, when you think about it, he got some amazing breaks. He made 2 bombs. He made the bomb on 1, the bomb on 12, and he hits the ball that hits the pin on 15.
Stick, yeah.
And he hits the pin on 15, which puts him right next to the hole. If he doesn't hit the pin, he's not making birdie there. So he makes 2 bombs and hits the pin on 15, and he beats Scottie by 1.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like there's also no real reason to believe there's a regression for the first. He's like the first person since Tiger essentially to really think that, he'll be anything but everything we've seen this week and for the last 2 years. And that's where this feels so certain, where it feels so hopeless if you're a chaser. LaMagna was pressing me last night of like, do you think it sucks for some of these like alpha guys, like, Bryson, Rory, elite players that like to know that they're not the best in the world? So like, I don't think it sucks. I think they think they're among the very best, and they hope, the week lines up where they win and they don't get Scottie being what Scottie's been for the last 3-4 years. And this is one of those weeks. I don't think it's like, this isn't like, you're the 8 seed going up against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and it's just like, well, this sucks. I just got to play on the same court, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a challenge. It might be fun to play, but we know the result. So like, I don't think they're resigned to it. I think they understand they're not as good, and but they can win pretty much any event that they play, so long as he doesn't show up in the way he has. And this just isn't going to be one of them.
In the pod I did with Billy, he talked about, going up against Scottie or anybody that's really great for that matter. And some acknowledgement that he's not the very top of the game, right?
Yeah.
He said, all I try and do is just make it hard on them. He was talking about like Xander is like, if I can just stick around and keep applying some pressure. And I think you saw that with Fitz today.
Yeah.
He hung around for a while.
Yeah.
And then it just got loose. There was, some missed opportunities to apply the pressure. But like the reality is you have to play such a high level of golf just to keep up with his average. And it's like the guy's been just so dead. He's been so deadly this week when he's been in the fairway, and he gets an iron in his hand from a lie he can control. And it's just a, it's like as soon as he hit the tee shot on 7, the announcers, and I can't remember if it was the World. I've been watching both. I kind of actually finally ditched NBC this afternoon for the World Field.
I haven't seen any of it this year. This week,
the commercials have been really tough. But and just generally, I think like the World Feed's been delivering better analysis. They don't have the graphic packages, which are, some of those are cool that NBC's been doing, but just in general. But he hit a tee shot on 7. And like, I don't know anybody else. That's a tricky pin on that front little tier, that little shelf. There's a runoff on the right. And the announcers are like, well, he's going to have a really great chance to make a 3 here. Like almost like in a tone that was like, he's going to make a 3. And sure enough, it's 207 up probably uphill 15 yards with a little wind at his back, and into a front pin, which makes it tricky. And he hits it to 8 feet, makes the eagle. It's just, if he hits the fairways, it feels like over. So that if he drives the ball like he drove it at Quill Hollow, then everybody has a shot.
Yeah.
But what are the chances of that?
The left miss on one gets you out of bounds, and that was the thing he had there for whatever, an hour at Quill Hollow, going
Really,
for Quill
yeah,
Hollow.
maybe 3 if it was slow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. All right, we're going to talk about Scottie, I have a feeling, at length on Sunday night. Is there anything more specific about this round?
I got to call out, fellow University of Illinois alum Tom Fernelli, college football writer, who put this tweet up.
Is this the nihilist? Yeah.
When you're leading the Open, but it doesn't fulfill you, and it's like a
nihilist Scottie. Another pointless. What is it? 67.
I bet Scottie's a big fan of Good Charlotte. He should go to live Chicago.
Oh, he was just God. It's gonna, like Patty said. I think that quote's gonna follow him for a long time. It certainly is this week. That's what it's gonna be all about tomorrow. Should he win? Feels like certainly in line. Let's do a contender pretender. Can we do contender Scottie Scheffler? We're gonna agree that he is.
He's a pretender. I don't buy it. Doesn't pass the eye test.
Houghton Lee. Let's understand that contention in this case is asking something way more than just being on the leaderboard. Understanding that Scottie is the one that's in first and in first by 4. Is Houghton Lee a contender?
God, he played great. The mistake on 18. He's kind of been amazing.
He's hung in there.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna, just for the sake of, I'm hoping for something interesting, say he's gonna be a contender. I almost said pretender because I still don't believe it.
Do you think it matters, or to Scottie's benefit, it just doesn't matter that he got Lee instead of Fitz or Rory or something? This is he had Noren at the PGA, and now he gets Houghton. Is that going to be of any? It just doesn't matter.
I mean, well,
Scottie's going to be Scottie.
He's 6 shots up on Rory.
Right.
He's 5 shots up on Fitz. I don't think it really matters when
taking
you have that out of margin.
But yes. That's what about Fitzy? He's 5 back. Can we suggest demoted? Love these graphics. Sheriff pulls rank, removes Constable from the case.
We got to put up Scottie's graphic real quick, PJ.
What'd you make for Scottie? Another 67.
Has he been extended diplomacy, diplomat status this week? Scottie's par saves are making many wonder if he's above the law.
He can't
be arrested on foreign turf.
I mean, some of the recoveries, and you called it last on Saturday night, right, about getting steep. I was listening to Brendan DeYoung, I think, the Filet was following them on the BBC radio, or the Open radio, I should call it. Said, he got steep there. He got pretty steep there on 11, Filet said.
That would be like the thing that it's the left-right wind, and he's been you're trying to critique a guy that's first in strokes gained approach and putting, right? Like, your recipe, if you're hoping for an exciting Sunday, is that the swing, you saw some loose shots, and it just happens when he gets a little steep. Again, I want to preface this: he's been incredible. There was a comment that was saying I was too hard on Scottie, and it was this whole thing's been prefaced with, if you're trying to poke holes in this all-time performance we're watching. And then the putts just don't go in. But, the way he's been getting the ball around the golf course, he's averaging 1 bogey per round at a golf course that really punishes poor shots. Like, it's felt like he probably should have made 2 today, and he made 0, and that's the putter. So
Fitzy gets demoted. He's even par. Not today. Shot 71, 9 under. Contender or pretender? It's a different
I think
game.
he's
Give
I think
Scotty
he's a contender. I thought he
Yeah.
played better than he scored today.
Yep. Rory McIlroy at 8 under. He's next. 6 back. Shot 5 under 67 with some of those breaks you suggested. Is he a contender or pretender?
I think he just hasn't had his A+ stuff, his A
Sure.
stuff this whole week. I think like we've seen him like that Scottish Open was like, oh, he's rounding into form. And the difference between Scotty and Rory right now is when you round into form in golf, it's like a couple week build period.
Mhm.
Scotty is like peak form, right? He's been running this way for 2 months. At the Masters and leading into the Masters, we saw Rory at peak form. And I think Rory is like almost there, and we might see this like great FedEx Cup playoffs performance from Rory, right? Because he's gotten fully into form. To me, today's round was the same round he played the 2 previous rounds. It was frustrating at times to watch because like he didn't take advantage on 5 and 7, but like you're talking about, you need to play kind of like perfect from where he got behind to Scotty to get himself back into the mix. Like today's round to me felt like the same round as the last 2 days, except he made 2 bombs and he hit the flagstick. And for me, like I go to like the scoring, it feels like the conditions are going to be like he could go out and play that perfect round and shoot that 63. I just don't know if that's enough.
63 would put him at 16 under. And Scotty's 14. Might be good for a playoff. Might. Doesn't feel like enough to win for sure.
So I think I'm going
pretender?
I'm going pretender for everybody back here.
Everybody at 8. That's McIlroy, Goddard, English, and Hatton are at 8. So you're saying Fitzy and Houghton Lee?
I don't want to say everybody's a pretender, but the reality is I believe everybody's a pretender.
Yeah, Scotty's won the event is what you're suggesting.
But my point is like if we see a 63, who would win with a 63? And I don't think the 8th would win with a 63.
Crazy. Yeah, well, it's not this is where we're at with Scottie Scheffler.
I think 9, if you're at 9 and you shoot 63, you might win.
What has he done? What has the sheriff done to our beloved contender pretender game? He's put it in handcuffs.
Ruining golf is what he's doing. He's saying nothing matters,
and then
and he's making Sundays extremely boring.
And telling you there's no point to this. Well,
just got a YouTube comment. Scotty, what's the point in watching tomorrow?
It's a fair question. He's not doing it to inspire the next generation. Oh my gosh, there's just people with drums and uniform marching outside the door. Could be
a Protestant protest outside the door.
It's not a protest. I think it's a march. I want to make sure our terms are right, but they've got drums and they're in uniform of some sort. That's going to be loud. Yeah, let's.
I think the other tough thing about like where these guys are is like if you make a bogey early, it is deflating.
Yeah,
these guys have to get out of the gate and feel like they're playing the perfect game. And the perfect game is, let's think about like the start you need to have. You have to birdie 2, you have to birdie 5, you have to birdie 7. And you'd probably like to get one other one in that mix with no bogeys and be going to 8, 4 under. And Rory could have been there, but he didn't birdie 5 or 7.
That 7 was sloppy, Yeah, bad chip, bad one.
Bad approach. The approach shot was an issue.
It was weird. Yeah, it was all set up for him there.
Like, it was a tough lie. Ball way above your feet, but like you got to hit that pass there and then get to be able to chip back using the green. But like that's honestly like that's what I'm saying. Where it's like a little sloppy. It's just slightly off. It's
think about the pressure of like big miss the fairways like a 17. Like 15, he was in a not position A. Like every time, right? You're asking him to basically hit every fairway, or at least get it in play. And we haven't seen him be able to do that this week.
I mean, the way Scotty's playing, if just to put it into like a little bit of perspective, right? If he went if from where he was through 2 rounds, he needs to probably realistic, like to say like, yeah, I won this tournament, shoot 64 on the weekend on a very difficult golf course.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he shot 66 today, and it was a thrilling round. It was so cool to see the crowd support. But 64 gets him to 17, and now he's could he shoot 62? It's like we've seen it before in an Open. It wasn't at
Brandon Grace.
Yeah,
Birkdale,
all-time Stinger player.
Stinger. All-time Stinger. Yep. Yeah, we'll see. Would be an all-time day if that happened. And you can purchase an all-time car. If you go to MBUSA.com, check out their SUV collection. We have become prone or prejudiced to the GLS. We're big on that one, but they've got a range of SUV options. They got the G-Wagon out here. They've got a blue, kind of a royal blue G-Wagon out on the grounds. But we're kind of prone to GLS. Go to MBUSA.com.
When I was in Scotland earlier this year, I just rented a normal car, and for whatever reason, the rental car center was just handing out Mercedes.
Oh boy!
And I had one of the C-Class sedans.
Yeah.
I was so sad when I had to give it back to the rental car center.
Well, don't be a sad boy. If you go to MBUSA.com, you can look at owning one permanently for yourself and not having to give it back to the rental car center. Mercedes-Benz has been partnered with the Open since 2011, rooted in shared values, commitment to excellence, and bridging tradition with modern luxury. Their SUVs are the perfect companions for golf enthusiasts seeking performance, style, and space on the way to the golf course. The GLS stands out as the pinnacle of this lineup. It combines power and finesse backed by 12 driver assist systems, not 11, not 10, but 12 driver assist systems, nimble handling, cutting-edge AI technology, and superb craftsmanship. The GLS anticipates your needs, ensuring every journey is as strategic as a championship-winning game plan. Learn more about the GLS and the Mercedes-Benz full lineup of SUVs at MBUSA.com. Thanks to them, they've supported us all Open Championship. Got Joseph and I over here, some great insight for the newsletter, this podcast, our video, our Portrush video, which, we've gotten compliments about that really all week here on the grounds. A lot of people, both from Portrush, both in golf, have complimented us on the video. So good job to you, Cameron, everybody who put that together. And thanks to MBUSA.com, Mercedes-Benz, for their sponsorship this week. One benefit of being here, and I think
I wanted to hear about today. You were following Rory.
I did. I figured like Sunday, I'm gonna Scottie. Like that's gonna be the thing that I will do. That will be the story and the focus. And if he doesn't win, it will still be the story and the focus, I would think. I thought today would be a day to go follow Rory. I thought it'd be like you alluded to sort of at the beginning of the week. This is maybe the last time he'll play here in the form that he's in, or maybe the last time he'll play an Open here ever. Who knows? There is one more. It seems like coming back here for now. They could be coming forever here, but one more on the docket. But that might be, it seems like the mid-30s, mid-2030s at this point. See, Portmarnock in Ireland will get one. It sounds like in the early 30s. And that would put Portrush, a little farther down the line. So for me, I looked at this Saturday. Scottie would be the focus on Sunday. I wanted to go follow Rory. It felt like maybe the last time you could see and do this, and it was like as cool and special of like an afternoon as I've had on the golf course. It was, and I think the media, sometimes rightfully so, gets criticized for like glazing Rory and all that, and just overdoing it and getting saccharine and never kind of holding them to account. And I think that's sometimes accurate. I would say this was less about like glazing Rory and more about sort of a once in a generation opportunity to experience him at home. It was more about the crowd, it was more about the setting, it was more about the people out there. I've never really seen anything like it. I just haven't seen this amount of I know, like, I wasn't around for Arnie's Army. I don't know what that was like. I was around for Tiger. It's been a while since we had like Tiger in the throes of a final round of a major with this kind of crowd. And you add in the element of him being home, you add in the element of pretty much everyone there rooting for one person, you add in the element of like the setting, the sun, like the weather, the way it was. And it was as cool an experience as I've had walking around at these majors. I never felt like he was going to, take the lead or threaten Scottie, and that may not be the case. He's not been the best player this week, but I don't know how to analogize it. I was there for like LeBron's first game back in Cleveland, and it was surreal. It wasn't the most consequential basketball game he would ever play. This was not the most consequential round Rory will ever play, but him and Harry seemed to be like, Harry's pretty deadpan, seemed to be really enjoying it too. Like they were laughing really enjoying the people. It's a circus, no doubt, probably annoying and irritable at times, but they seemed like truly pretty amused and happy and grateful to be around there. And I was out there when the putt went in at 12 was like, I'm not going to say it's as loud. I think we can kind of over dramatize the crowd things. It was very, very loud. I don't know that it was louder than this one I heard here or the loudest I've ever heard. Probably not, but it was an incredible scene. I think Rory said after the round, that's as cool as the reaction as he's ever had in his career. And it just like went all the way up 13. I don't want to, it's hard to kind of, I don't know, exaggerate it, but just something about the weather, something about the sun setting and hitting so many of the dunes and the shadows getting long, and just people on every dune and people screaming, shouting, Rory, 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 just chanting, and him really kind of eating it up in like a subdued way. It was as cool of it was as unique for sure as a major round as I've had following someone. And I think the fact that this might be it also added to it. So
from the broadcast, just seeing like the juxtaposition of fan support was wild. The only thing I could think of that might compare would be if you were watching Matty Fitz play a major in the northern suburbs of Chicago.
That could have been it. Like, to be clear, if this were like Oakmont Saturday or Augusta Saturday, like I'm following Scottie or one of like there's something special about this. And Roy's talked about, I can't believe this is at Portrush. This is happening here, right? And he's a big part of why major golf has returned to like one of the greatest championship golf courses in the world. And so it's back, and like he was kind of in the hunt peripherally, and they were there to celebrate. And I think the weather was a big part of it. I don't want to discount that, but I've done a bunch of major settings, and this was as unique and cool as anyone I've ever been in. And the interesting one, the juxtaposition, 13 and 17, those greens are kind of in the same sort of hollow, the same sort of canyon, basically back to back. There's no grandstand. There's nothing. You could just say it's, one 100-yard long green. It's not all mowed that way. And Scottie it was on one side and Rory was on the other, but the grandstands on both sides were all looking in one direction, all down at Rory. And so I don't want to dramatize it and be saccharine about it, but it was just I think I try to be pretty level-headed about some of this stuff and not way too much into the crowds he's holding them in the palm of his hands, or the crowds are pushing Rory on. Like there's no necessarily on the course impact. Just as a person on the ground, being there in person, it was as cool as I've experienced and not unlike anything I've ever seen.
I think like if you I'm trying to think of like how you compare this. It feels almost like if you had some sports star from a small town.
Yeah.
And then they had like a professional event in the small town, like with how global golf is. It's a person from a small country who, that, up until a couple years ago, the reality of a major championship ever being held in that country was, seemed non-existent. Having a huge championship there, like it's really neat. It'd be amazing if he could make things interesting tomorrow.
Yeah, I think they'll, whether they're interesting in fact or not, the crowd will make them feel interesting, if that makes sense. If he makes a birdie, okay, fine. Now it's whatever. It's 5 and not 6. It will for a fleeting moment, no doubt. And the RNA's been on us about taking pictures, and all I wanted to do was like, not to sell them and make money, just to take pictures, because I won't forget ever being out there for sure. It's kind of why you are. I mean, it's why people watch sports. It's like that passion and that experience, and why all these people were there. That's why they were there. Are they there for the Open? Of course, but they were all there to watch Rory. And I don't think we get that anymore, where there's like a crowd so singularly focused on someone. Tiger for sure at his time, but we do not get that anymore. And it was incredible to be there at home. So that was my day out with Rory. Not a, I'll call him a contender just because I want to think that might happen again tomorrow. So
I think Scottie's closed out his last 9 54-hole leads.
Yes,
this is a big lead too. One of the subplots of that is golf is a game, and we saw Rory with this at the Masters, where when things don't go your way, you develop a lot of scar tissue, emotional baggage that you have to deal with. Everybody has their own emotional baggage with golf. One of the things that I thought with Quail Hollow, when Scottie went south, had Rahm kind of kept the pedal down on the back nine and taken him down, it would have been a moment that created a lot of a substantial amount of emotional baggage for Scottie,
right?
Scar tissue. But he avoided that. And I think, like, if you're looking for an undercard of tomorrow, and like, could that memory still there? There has to be doubt because of the way that front nine at Quail Hollow, and this round will be a lot to seeing which way it goes for Scottie long term. My guess is it's probably going in his favor. But if you think about like some of the undoings of great players, Tiger was never the same after Y.E. Yang. Obviously, like, a lot of his life spiraled out of control shortly after.
Yeah.
But like, sometimes players haven't ever felt that's like where things can change. And that is, like, if you're wondering, why am I even watching tomorrow? That's why you're watching. Crazy shit happens in golf tournaments when you're trying to close it out. Crazy stuff happens in the Open. Jean Van de Velde, obviously happens in the Open. But
Yeah.
I'm fascinated. I'm going to be fascinated to watch how Scottie comes out of the gate tomorrow, whether he gets on his front foot and starts attacking.
Or he might not be on the front foot. He might not be on the back foot. He might be like a boxer out there in the rain, just dancing, feeling the partner out, kind of shadow boxing him. Maybe he's not on any foot. He's just feeling out the partner in the rain. Is there anything in the course conditioning or the golf course that would promote a consolidation of the leaderboard? Is it?
I think it's just,
of...
if Scottie doesn't have his stuff, it's a golf course that can punish you.
Yeah.
And if somebody does, it is a golf course. We're seeing it, like, the guy that's leading an approach and making a lot of putts is way out in front. The leaderboard has, like, really separated, right?
Yep.
So, like, the flip side of that is if you drop down a tier in how you're playing, it can punish you, and I think that's kind of what we've seen. We saw Westy go 40-28. Westy Island was an interesting place this morning.
Saw Westy. Walk past Westy. Talked to him for hello, Westy. Evacuation threat. Oh no, Westy Island.
This morning, people were fleeing. Early in the morning, I woke up to people fleeing the island, Westy Island. But we are in high spirits after a record-tying back nine performance from Westy, shooting the lowest back nine, tying the lowest back nine at Royal Portrush. So we are back. We're back on the island, and we're vying. You know what we're vying for?
What are we vying for?
An exemption for
A
next
top
year.
5? No,
Top
for
10.
open. Yeah, top 10. You're good.
And
Yeah.
he's not the only one. There's
Who
another
else are we looking
player
at?
who has run out of major exemptions. Do you know who that is?
Is it DJ? Oh, there we go.
DJ
Needs it.
sits at T22. Needs a top 10 to come back to the Open.
The response to these little PJ graphics, that they like the ones they put for recruiting and coach firings on social media are great. Needs it. DJ needs top 10 finish. Yeah,
Listen,
he's running
there
out.
are tons of subplots tomorrow
Yeah,
beyond
that's fair.
beyond the Scottie thing. Another one is one that we've talked about at length. It's one man's battle with even par. Matthew Jordan is back at even par after disappointing Saturday.
Right where we got him. Right where we want him, Andy. He's right where we want him. Matt Jordan. It's incredible.
Shot 73. It's his worst round ever in the Open.
It is, but still. 73. That's your worst round.
68 to 73.
What other
right
storylines we got? Anything else that we want to cook up? PJ, what else do you have for
We
me?
got plenty.
All right. I made a little game for you. You want me to unload my notebook, some odds and ends? Nope. Saturday notes. We'll save some for Sunday.
We got a lot of storylines. You got a notebook. We got a game. This show is staying on the road here. We're not done yet.
Let's not do this Saturday. Notes, I'll say, ran into somebody, Tom Hoagie, doing well. Tommy Tables is doing well. Didn't do well last year. He's doing great this year. I'll leave it at that. I won't leave the numbers out of it. Ran into Dick Teeter at the bar. PJ, I texted you a selfie. If you could pull that up on the spot. Yeah. Ran into Richard Teeter, none other than Richard Teeter himself. I've never asked a golfer for a selfie and autograph. Never will. Absolutely never will. Totally unprofessional. But honestly, as proof of evidence for you and PJ, I texted it only to you guys. I was like, I have found Dick Teeter. He was a 19-year-old boy having himself a night in Portrush.
Was he hit? What was he drinking?
Guinness, it looked like Guinness. He said it literally was just saying, he's like, this has been the greatest week of my life. He said in Estonia, he was asked for autographs 3 times. He says he's been asked for autographs 3 times in his life. There's Dick Teeter. I promise you.
And your shacket, your oatmeal shacket.
I promise you, Teeter was a lot happier to talk than it looks. It looks like I'm holding him hostage in this selfie, but he was very excited. Super chap. Had heard of Fried Egg. Eager to chat. Said, just this time of my life. The time of my life, he's hitting it. He's just having a ball. Is that he was signing autographs all week. He said, I've only been asked to autograph something 3 times in Estonia. This kid came up to him and said, oh, incredible chip on 17, huh? He goes, yeah, it was a good chip. And he goes, how about the putt? I misread the fuck out of that. And started laughing, started cackling, just laughing at his misreads on his own putts, just having a night. So Dick Teeter phenomenon will continue beyond this week. Another note, KJ Choi back on the range defending, ready to go into his old man defense at Sunnydale.
He wants to play at Birkdale. He has to win this week. He's taking it seriously.
He's still wailing away, trying to get to 150 miles an hour. With Stu Sink, I heard Stu Sink played yesterday, missed the cut, and then went and played Port Stewart. Apparently he's a total golf sicko.
Yeah, he is.
Total golf sicko. Misses the cut same day he's out at Port Stewart.
When the Open was at the old course, our producer extraordinaire Cameron Hurtis was out at Anstruther and ran into the whole Sink family there.
Really?
Yeah.
He's just a sicko. Cool. This is a Sink appreciation pod now.
Did you see the I think it was the golf.com folks ran into Hatton was playing
Yeah.
Ballyreg,
Yeah,
the short
yep.
course on the coast.
Yep.
Right there.
Yep. I think Ricky played there. There were some caddies. Yeah, it's been cool. That's what you get only at the Open. Go ahead, PJ.
While we're on Champions Tour minute here with KJ
Yeah.
and Stu,
Yeah. Yeah.
can we talk about Lemania asking Justin Leonard if he thought he could contend in Open Championships, and Justin just straight up not answering the question.
That was our very own Joseph Lemania. Can you come over here? He asked.
Oh,
him,
he's here. Good.
Do you
good.
think you can win the Open? And Justin Leonard was like, I'm not answering that. I'm just not. Like, Lemania claims the question was based on Tom Watson nearly winning once. Is your mic? Do we have you on high volume? Okay, go ahead. I think it should work.
I feel like that's being misrepresented.
No,
it's not working.
Not working.
Not working. All right.
You have to give him the headset. Give him the headset for a second. Give him the headset. So
I feel like this is being misrepresented a little bit. I had asked him multiple questions, and he had talked about some greats being in contention past their years. And so I basically just asked him, do you think you could ever contend in an Open Championship, and has this week changed any of that? And he laughed immediately, and he was like, I'm not answering that, but I do feel like making the cut this week was kind of contending.
I mean, he's contending more than Brooks Koepka and Cam Smith and Joaquin Niemann and Patrick Cantlay. So, I mean, in a way, I guess it is. But, that's too much context for a graphic. This is what gets the people going on Instagram. We don't need context.
Honestly, PJ, the last 2 days, I've woken up to texts about PJ about getting the graphics going. Like, what are some graphics ideas?
You want to do the one we came up first thing this morning? You want to just move on? All right, here we go. Andy's favorite player, Corey Connors. Great round today in his normal, non-threatening position at a major championship.
Corey Connors goes low to move into non-threatening position.
Good for him.
I thought about throwing something in there about Canada, but didn't want the Canadians coming after me.
Yeah, you don't need to jam Canadians for no reason. What other notes I got? Just random Saturday. Oh, there was, as Rory was getting pressed, talking to the press, there was one lone Danish reporter asking Nikolai in Danish, or was it Rasmus? I can never keep track. Who would have finished closer to? It was Nikolai. In Danish, back and forth. They finish, and this Danish reporter walks over to me. He goes, Thorbjorn is also Jacob. I said, what? God, I've never talked to this guy in my life. He clearly listens to the Shotgun Start. He said, Thorbjorn is also Jacob. I said, what do you mean? This Danish reporter listens to the Shotgun Start. He goes, his name is Jacob Thorbjorn Olesen.
Oh,
so they're both Jacob. So, the Danes are listening.
This is the rare father that didn't want the junior.
Yes.
So instead of going Jacob Thorbjorn, he decided to go Jacob Scoff. What an honorable thing from the gentleman.
That just blew the doors off this.
Yeah.
That really just opened this up.
We've just got international reporters out there coming to provide facts to us.
I love that we are the Danish golf reporter podcast.
Yep. Last note, the food here I would say has been underwhelming. I wouldn't say it's been
one of my favorite things about Shaq's newsletter, The Quadrilateral, when it hits the Open, is that it opens, every newsletter opens with if you know what he's writing about, it's a complaint about the food in the media center.
He popped back. He asked someone, like, what is that? And they're like, it's like chili stew, something. Well, it looks like a macaroni and cheese day again. And like the woman looked sort of broken by it, but Joseph's still been laughing about it 3 days. It's just a little cultural difference for the Americans. But I was told today by Eamon Lynch that no, it's not been good, but it could have been 2013 Muirfield when on the menu for lunch was pigeon.
What?
They served pigeon at Muirfield.
Oh,
when the American
that is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Pigeon was a farmer offering. In the media
Here,
set.
would you like a plate of trash?
Yeah, that's about how well it went over. Those are odds and ends Saturday night. Notes, PJ. Should we do our little game within the game deal today?
we got a couple more storylines.
We got a couple more
Okay,
graphics
all right,
to get through.
storylines. All right, storyline.
We don't want anybody to take these graphics out of context on social media.
No.
Okay.
Not us.
All right.
Never.
Did you
Hazel
see the?
first.
Did you see the?
Yes. I did. I did.
The first one was incredible because of his reaction. It was just so, like exactly how I would react, or anybody would react to it. It was like, oh my god.
He went like, oh, like just pointing, like, oh.
He thought he hit somebody on the
It
first
was-
one for
It
sure.
looked like it went in a tower or a grandstand or something. It could have gone past one. Go ahead.
God, the audio users are gonna be mad. This graphic is Hazel first. Rose shoots 68 despite 2 shanks.
Well, the audio users can go to Instagram and search Shotgun Start and see a full carousel of these visual accompaniments as well. They're fun. PJ's cooking. All right,
This is
Hazel
a PJ
first.
creation. The next
Yep.
one.
What do we got? Dogs are barking. Is Portrush the real Athens of Europe? And there's a picture of Russ Henley, Harry English, Septic Tank, and Brian Harmon, who Brian Harmon went scurrying away. Like, can we talk about, like,
It was not good.
is there a pairing you could come up with in your head that could be more culturally diametrically opposed than Brian Harmon and Hao Tong Lee? Just two more like random, complete, square and a circle hole pairing. That's up there. Like, they look like, even up from, one's tall and lanky, one's short. Different games. It's just like that is an odd cocktail.
You know what I'm just putting together here? Hao
What?
Tong might be a quick learner though, because on 16 he had a really good approach to 16 tee shot, and while it was in the air, he yelled, "Run like a dog."
Oh, really?
Maybe that was
I
an
like
ode to knowing that his playing partner Harmon was a dog.
Very famously a dog.
It's a good point.
But
Dogs
I don't know.
are barking.
I think Athens, Greece might be on the back foot compared to Portrush. I think the dogs are
No, no,
over
they're not
Downtown
gonna
Port
win.
Rush.
No,
Downtown
they're
Port Rush.
downtown Portrush.
People want a TikTok update.
Oh, we do want a TikTok update. That was on my list.
It's insane. I mean, I'm not. This is you go everywhere and you're like, Joseph's the TikTok boy. That like. We were out late. We had to go, so we podcasted till like basically 10:15. I made a reservation for 10:30, so we were out, and we finished dinner at like 11:15, and so it's already like hopping with the kids. The kids scene is out and about, and we fled. But before we got out, like we did they're just like, oh, you're the American about downtown. You're the idiot American, the TikTok boy. Are you having fun in downtown Portrush? Boom, left, right, left. Our caddy at Port Stewart on Wednesday was like, oh, I saw you on TikTok on like hole 3. Everybody knows him. At one point, I guess Lamagna was in like the middle of the walkway on the beach or something. It was about to have the selfie camera turned. This old man walks up to me like, "Are you the TikTok boy?" Because he was in pose at the time. It's gone everywhere. I can't express to you this. Everyone has seen this under the age of 25 in Northern Ireland. Because he called Portrush downtown.
I think Ben Griffin missed an opportunity
It's
to really
international.
grow his brand internationally.
It's
Clearly,
an international incident at this point. It's unbelievable. Everybody knows who Lamagna is walking around.
we got
What else?
one
we
more
got?
storyline.
Okay.
Speaking of international incidents, Jersey Boys coming to Broadway, New York in September? Question mark. Chris Gotterup mowing them down. Mowing them down.
A good links trip for Gotterup.
Should he be on the Ryder Cup team if he say he finishes top 5 tomorrow?
I think we're gonna have to do this assessment tomorrow. I think it's a massive story, a massive question coming out. Like, where are we with Cantlay, Morikawa? Keegan is on the team. Our Gotterup, Spieth. Feels premature to start talking about him on the team, even if he finishes top 5. I just, we always get into this, and then like what happens is what you expect in September, and it's the names. It's like Cantlay and Morikawa and all the names you expect kind of come back. Whether they win between now and then. But it's fun to banter about.
It feels like Fitzy is going to be a lock for the Euro team.
Yeah.
Yes, feels like he's on his way. Well, let's do that analysis tomorrow of Ryder Cup after the men's major season.
All right,
concludes.
that's it on
What else?
storylines. All you BP. Take it.
Let's do this tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow.
Oh,
if
yeah.
Scottie wins by like 8, then we'll need stuff to make ourselves laugh. So, or it'll just never see the light of day, and we'll make a social post of it. It's just he's brought his portion of law enforcement international.
I mean, we thought he had a partner, and then he took the partner completely off the case today.
Well, he impressed the higher ups abroad, and they've given him the right to arrest people. And he's a diplomat. He can't be arrested. He can't make bogeys. The course can't do anything to him, and he's allowed to run around. And
Need a spy on the inside, somebody with local knowledge. Rory's the only hope.
What's it
somebody
called?
who knows his way around.
What's it called when you can make arrests all over the world?
I don't know.
Interpol? Well, you could make arrests. All Interpol, I think, is the international police service.
He's elevated himself to Interpol.
You know, it's the International Tribunal, The Hague. Who knows? His jurisdiction has no bounds. There is no jurisdiction.
No.
Incredible showing so far. We'll get to Sunday.
What do you think? What do you guys think the winning number is tomorrow?
To the police siren point, is this as fair a test as links gets? As fair a links course you can get when we try to define what that word means?
I think with the weather conditions, yeah. The fairways are one of the, and you've seen it in that, especially in the back nine. Those fairways get moving directions, and there's a lot of times crosswinds. And if you had stiffer winds, those fairways would be so small, and it might expose more of the fact that a lot of players struggle to not like that. Wind off your left is a struggle for so many players. You know, there's very few players who can really move the ball right to left. But yeah, I think it's the reason for it is the golf course was designed when aerial golf had been introduced. So it has a lot of aerial features with those greens sitting up. A lot of the other golf courses sit lower profile, A, because the land's less dramatic in Scotland, and B, because they were built when the golf ball ran up.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Sorry, getting text messages about the siren. Yeah, makes sense.
What about the siren?
Nah. What?
Get it off?
No.
Or pro siren?
No, they're laughing about it. All right. That
What's
does
the
it.
winning number?
So we're predicting that Scottie would win. It seems like a sensible prediction.
Your prediction for winning number?
17. Shoots 68. 17. He shoots 68.
I was gonna go 18. The reality, here's like my second question. Will anybody get to 14?
No. You're asking, I don't think Hao Tonley, I'm sorry. I just don't. He's going to, he only needs to shoot 68 or 67 for that. Fitzy, he shoots 66. And the others need to shoot 65. No, I don't think anyone will get to 14.
I kind of think he could shoot even par and win tomorrow. That's why I asked that question.
Yep. Not impossible. It's not inconceivable to see a 63 from one of those guys. I just don't think it's going to happen. So. All right. That does it. for this Saturday edition of the Shotgun Start. Thanks to Mercedes-Benz, Royal Portrush for having us out. We'll be back.
The GLS.
The GLS. We'll be back on Sunday to wrap it all up. Last men's major round of the year. A little sad one. We got a Ryder Cup.
Oh, come on. We still have Eastlake.
You were talking about that momentum, Royce. He's getting it back.
That's honestly, I see it coming. It's gonna be a great FedEx Cup playoffs for Rory.
Is he gonna play?
I don't think he's playing Memphis.
Yeah, it seems like Baltimore may be next. All right, we'll see. See what happens. Yeah, he's going to be the Prince of Ponte Vedra once again, hoisting the
I was
FedEx Cup.
wondering when does Scottie move into office, and what would his position be in Ponte Vedra?
We'll have to think about that. Something with law enforcement, obviously, Department of Homeland Security or whatever.
Director of Security. I think it has to be it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that does it. Saturday. Thank you for your support. We'll talk to you again on Sunday.
I want to talk to Samson.